Thanks to Bad Bunny, your girl is officially fluent in Spanish. Okay, maybe not fluent, but we're gonna get into that. Hola, buenos, me llamo Daji Imara. So we do solo travel, but we also learn languages on this channel, and right now we learn in Spanish. So on my journey to being fully fluent in Spanish, I am listening to a lot of Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny specifically because I think his music is amazing. I love his whole vibe, everything about him. And I felt like he is an artist that it would be easier for me to catch on his music because I like his style of music. He's a rapper. So what I started doing to help, incorporate Bad Bunny into my Spanish learning lessons is I would listen to his song, whatever song I was listening to from his most recent album, and I would listen to it over and over and over again, like 2-3 times a day. And once I felt like, not the whole album 2-3 times a day, but a couple of songs 2-3 times a day. And once I felt like I kind of got like the momentum and the vibe of the song, then I very much went to Google and I listened to the song with the lyrics on the screen to see what he's actually saying. As you're listening to it, it's kind of just like mumble. But when you put the song next to the lyrics, it's kind of like, oh, okay, this is he saying, and stuff like that. So what I did is I started to go like verse, like section by section, and practice saying those words line by line. What this was helping me do was helping my enunciation with Spanish. I was not worried about trying to translate it to English. I wasn't worried about trying to understand what he's talking about. None of that. I want to be able to get my mouth to move that way in the Spanish language. I want to be able to pronounce those words like a Spanish native. That is the goal in me reading the lyrics to Bad Bunny's song. So here's tip number 1 on how to use music or Bad Bunny specifically to learn Spanish. Like I mentioned before, pick a couple songs from a favorite album of yours from a Spanish artist and listen to it over and over again. Once you feel like you kind of got like the momentum of the song down pat, then listen to the music and try to learn the words section by section. What this is going to be able to do, it's going to help your listening skills because you're listening for these words as you're listening to the song now. It's no longer just mumbling in Spanish, like you're actually listening for each single word. 2, it helps, one of the other things that it really helped me do was really kind of like understand the Puerto Rican accent. Because in Puerto Rico, they don't pronounce the S. That's one thing I noticed when I listened to Bad Bunny, they don't pronounce the S. Like he has a song called Después de la Playa, and I would pronounce that like después, or después, or después, or something like that. That's how I would, if I was to just read that word, that's how I would pronounce it. But he says Después de la Playa, which it was like, first I'm like confused, is he just saying this because he's rapping and he's trying, like he's saying it fast? But then I learned this, Puerto Ricans technically don't use the S. So on one thing, it's teaching you how to like pronounce these words, it's teaching you how to listen better, but it's teaching you how to understand that language from whatever that region is. And that is a huge part of learning a language, is understanding the different dialects within the different countries that the language is spoken. And that helps you kind of get a better understanding of that culture of that destination. Another thing, if you choose a artist that's not Bad Bunny, I suggest you choose an artist that is major in whatever country that is, because you kind of get also another understanding of their culture by learning songs from one of the most popular artists. It's like if somebody was to be learning English and they wanted a really popular, and I was to recommend a really popular artist, I would say Beyonce. She's the biggest artist alive. Her music touches everybody globally, so I feel like that would be a good start to kind of get a bit of inside scoop of one, American culture, but why we love her music, how her music makes us feel, and you can improve your English that way. So that's how I feel about why I chose Bad Bunny. He is an icon in Puerto Rico, so I was like, of course, let me learn a bit about the culture as well as the language. So that's another reason I chose Bad Bunny, in addition to me just liking his music, his style of music, him being really, really cool vibe and things like that. So that was just like really, really helpful for me when it came to deciding which artist I was gonna pick to learn. So once you figure out that, you know, once you figure out the song and you're kind of a bit more comfortable with singing it from start to finish, then you go and translate it into English. Because now you know how to sing the song, you know the right tempo, you know the right melody. Now try to figure out what it's talking about in English. Because if you try to translate it in English and sing it, it's going to be too confusing. Don't do that, okay? If you need a couple more tips on how to improve your Spanish, especially in conversation, I have a whole video on how to improve your conversational Spanish. What I'm currently doing to improve my conversational Spanish, go ahead and check out that video.